Okay, welcome to part 2, and what I'm going to do now is, this is part 2 of the 8-page newsletter editing, and I'm going to do this resource section now. Remember, I always leave the colors and all the graphical changes till the end, but I have 2 books I'm going to put in here. So I'm just going to remove this headline here. I'm just going to go and grab it and just move it out of the way for now. That's as much as I am going to do. And I'm going to actually take this whole copy area out here because I know this is going to have to expand down. So I'm just going to actually delete all that copy there so I can grab the bottom of this and drag it down a bit because I know I'm going to need the space. So I've got 2 books to put in here, The Psychology of Persuasion and The Death by Medicine. So I've just got to grab the headline, paste it in. I'm not going to worry about the spacing or anything for now, and then put in the copy. Yeah, look how big it's making it. So I'm just going to stretch that down. And take the bold off. It's probably about 10 point. Let's just make that this a bit larger so we can see it more clearly what we're doing. So let's just reduce that down to 16, maybe down to 14, so it fits on the one line. That looks better. Drop this copy up a little. That's 10 point, which looks about fine. Let's just tidy this up, and then the actual URL itself ideally wants to be at least like 16 and bold, depending on what background color we use, but that looks okay for now because we want to make sure that these URLs stand out, and then we just actually swap this picture for the actual picture of the book, which, if I can just go and find it, you'd have it in your zip file, of course. February 12, and it's the Kevin Hogan book. So I'm just going to insert that into there, and that's it in here. I've got to grab this little text box and just put it back in order, so I keep the text box together, and then that's there. Okay, so then I'm going to put this, just stretch this down a bit more and put this second book, but so I don't have to completely reformat everything. I'm going to actually just grab this whole area, and you see it's highlighted all the areas. And if I just get this, see the cross is appearing in the cursor, that big cross. If I then right click, yeah, let's just grab it again. Grab the 2 elements, this element, this element, make sure you've got that cross thing. If I right click, I can then copy and then click paste. You see, I can then just, with this crosshair thing again, drag the second one down, and then I'm going to change the book to the next book, which is Death by Medicine. So I actually insert picture from file, and this is the, which is it, which book day? Death by Medicine. Death by Medicine. Who's that by? Gary Null's book, isn't it? So there we go. That's the image for there. And look at the size of it. So let's just get rid of that image. This one's come through pretty big, so we can just size it back down. Just put it in there for now, and then just grab the copy that we're just going to paste into there. Just overwrite that copy. It's done this silly, I don't know why it formats it like that. So again, I'll reduce it down to 10 and take the bold off again, and then just got to do a bit of messing around. The headline needs changing, so we highlight the headline, change the headline. what is that? It's Century Gothic 14 bold. So let's just do it the same as the one above, 14 bold. Now it's formatted the same, and then we've got to put in the new URL where they can get this book. Just paste that in, and I think we'll do that 16 bold. Alright, so let's just reduce the size of the book a little just to match with the other book. They're probably about the right size. This looks alright to me. We could just bring this back up, that text box, so it just finishes that neatly, and then we can grab this one and just pull this up to stop that. So we've got a nice little lip at the top, lip at the bottom. Let's just check the sides. Got some nice equidistance top, bottom, sides. I'm just going to shift that little book over a bit, maybe that one over a little bit, and to me that looks fine. The whole thing's just moved over, so I'll just do edit back. So that looks fine for now, and what I'm going to do is then just go and grab this headline again and put it back underneath. And this is all I do each month. I'll worry about changing the colours and everything in a minute. So that's now I've got 2 resources. Sometimes you get 3, 4, 5 resources. In that case, we just keep extending the box down and down and down just to accommodate whatever we need to put in there. Alright. So let's now find something that we can put into this space or this space. Sometimes it's large enough that we start putting something in here, which then expands over into here. And then sometimes I'll put a little arrow in or something. So let's go back to the text file and see what we've got to put in. So in this space here, I think we've got enough space to put this little article here, which is 5 and a bit guaranteed ways to get clients into your salon fast. So I'm going to highlight the title and then paste it over. I'm not going to autoflow. Obviously it's a bit too long, so let's reduce the font size. I have to reduce it down a fair bit here. I don't like where it's all bold, so I'm going to actually just reduce just have the first letter of each word in bold. I'm just going to do that and see what it ends up looking, and then I'll check back. Alright, I had to jiggle around with it a bit, but I got it to 15 point. And if you ever wonder, I mean, there isn't a 15 point on here. But if you ever want to change a font size that's not listed in the drop down, just put the font number in here and then click enter, and it will change it to the font size. Alright, so got 5 and a bit guaranteed ways to get clients into your salon fast, and then I'm going to put the words in. Just going to highlight over this and put the words in that we want. I'm just going to tidy all this up and then see if what else we have to put in here. The text note says to add the image 5 and a bit. So I'm not sure I'm going to put it in here. I'm just going to put the cursor at the beginning of the A for now, and then go to Insert, Picture, From File, and then I'm going to grab this image and just click Insert. Now that's a bit too large, so I'm just going to reduce down in size, and then I can position it wherever I want in here. Alright, so I'm just going to position it up in that corner here and see where so that just fits okay there. And we probably will leave the PDF in because it is actually a PDF that they're going to download. So this works fine in actual fact because it is a PDF, and we've got to actually upload this to the website and then create the URL, which I should have done for you, which in normal circumstances I would do for you, and then you'd have the URL. So I'm just going to do that and then grab the link, which I would usually always provide you the link anyway, so you then can just add this in here. But that looks quite nice formatting, that we have that just formatted here. We can jiggle around with this a bit and then just put in the whatever the URL is going to be. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so what I've just done is I've just got the correct URL. I've just jiggled around with some of the copy, with the paragraphs. It looks to me tonight fit nicely. I put download the ebook PDF here, and here's the URL, and it is a PDF, so we'll just leave that little PDF picture. So that fits in there nicely. So let's just quickly have a look at what we have left to do. I'll just let me zoom in, zoom out should I say, and let's see what we have done and not done. So we've got the first page. I will go back and change the contents at the end, the content of the star at the end, change all the colors of the graphics. In actual fact, leave the colors of the graphics for me. I can quickly change the colors of the graphics. That's not a problem. So I can change the colors of these boxes. I can do that. So don't worry about doing that bit. So we've got front page, second, part of third. We need something for in here. We got this complete, this complete, this complete. We need something for here. And we need a full page here. So we need like a full page article plus a couple of half pages. So I'm going to have a look at our text file to see what we've got left to fit in that might fit into a full page and a couple of half pages. So when I'm looking through our text file, I know we've done the front page. I'm looking for an article that would fit the one full page and something for two half pages. Here we've got one, the top 30 stats. That looks like it would fit probably into a full page. So we could use that as the full page article. We've done the resources. We've got this important marketing lessons from a loaf of bread, and we have to add a picture in here. Now looking at the size of that, that would fit into probably a larger, a third or half a page, probably about a third of a page. We've done the 5 and a bit guaranteed ways. We've got this how to blog for customers article, which is probably definitely a full page. In this case, this will be a standalone insert for the newsletter this month. This is something that needs creating separately to the newsletter, which will be a standalone insert that actually is printed and goes into the newsletter. Here, 3 ways to leverage numbers and pricing. So this is another article. I want to fit that one in. We've done the promotions. We've added all the promotions in, and we've got the back page. So I'm going to take these 30 stats you need to know when marketing to women, and I'm going to add that into, this is where you've got to use a bit of graphical, you get used to it after a while, what's going to fit into where. I'm going to add this into this page here. So I'm just going to highlight that, copy and paste. Let's get rid of a lot of this copy. Let's just get rid of it all. That's a separate headline. What we have done, I'm just going to actually go back. You see, it's actually, this wants to be pulled up here. And they always maintain and keep the copy inside the copy area. So I'm just going to delete that. The reason why I'll keep some of it, because if you delete it entirely, actually you got to put a new text box in. You see, I'm highlighting the text box and moving it around because the headline, if I pull the headline down, see it goes on to 2. We could probably make that onto 2. So I'm just going to leave the headline here, and then this is where our text box starts. You can see how it moves around. So I'm just going to leave it there for now. We've got our headline here, which we can either use this font or drop one of these colourful headlines in. But I'm just going to grab the 30 stats from the newsletter. I'm going to highlight and drop them in here. Again, it's asking if I want to autoflow. I'm saying no. And now I'm going to start tidying this up. As I can see, it's gone down to, I've only fit 9 on and I want to fit 30 on. So I'll start editing the text now, and we're at font 9.8. So I'm actually going to just Control A to select all the text, and I'm just going to change it to font 9 for now, and then see if everything fits in. I'm just going to go ahead and start messing around with the text. Alright, so I've finished playing around with the editing of this, and what I did was capitalize the first letter of each word, which is what I normally like to do. I made this 22 point instead of 16, so it just fits onto the 2 lines and looks more balanced. I have gone ahead and bolded the headlines in each section. I've bolded the numbers, and if I just zoom, it just fits very neatly, all 30 points into that area. So that just fits perfectly. I've not had to change anything other than re-editing the headline and putting in the text. So these 2 pages are finished. Remember that I will change the colors of lines and things like that, the creative pieces of that. So back page is done. Page 6 and 7 are done. We've got one piece to put in here, which is like a third of a page. So we need an article for a third of a page and another third of a page. So we've got 2 more articles to go, and we've finished this 8-page newsletter. So I'm going to go and find a couple of articles to put into there. So I'm actually going to put in the article here, the important marketing lessons from a loaf of bread. So I've actually just dropped this into here, into this headline that was already here. This is point 19 point. I just put it up to 20. See, it still fits in there, but it's larger. 22 has gone too big. I'm just going to highlight, put 21, click enter, and 21 just fits in there perfectly. Now I don't have a text box here, so I'm going to have to insert a text box. So I go to insert, text box, and just put the text box into that area there. I'll just drag it basically across the corners there, and now I'm going to grab the copy that needs to go in there and paste. It's asking if you want to autoflow again. I'm going to click no. And what I'm going to do here is just drag this text box and open it to see exactly how much copy I've got to fit in. So this is just a technique that I do. So visually I can see now that this is all the copy that I've got to squeeze into here. So I'm going to tighten it all up and see what space I've got left, because this is getting pretty tight. So what I might just do is reduce it down to 9 point. So I'm just going to click A, Control A to select all the text, click 9 point and just reduce it down. Now I'm just going to play around with this, pause the video and just tighten all this text up and see what space we've got left, because we also want to put an image in here as well. Now I've got it all in here, but you can see it's still a squeeze, and I've like squeezed it all in because I've got this picture as well, which is just illustrating. I'm going to reduce the size of the picture. People can probably still visually see it, but can't exactly read it. Now you notice that, so I need to fit the text in. You know, it's at least it's fitted in, and yes, there's no paragraphs really, but I'll see what I can best do with it, but at least it's in there. But you see the text is right onto the image here, and even if I move the image over, the text is still right on the side of the image here. So on this little box here, the graphics box, if you click this text wrapping and this edit wrap points, you can just grab the little red, see the red boxes here, and it just pulls the text away from the side. You can put these wherever you know, you can push it right out here or wherever you want them. It just pulls the text away, which just neatens it up somewhat. So I'm just going to go ahead and neaten this up, but at least the article fits in here. Then I'll bold some stuff and just make it stand out a bit more. Alright, I finished messing around with that article. You can see it all fits in. Headline, I haven't really changed anything. Put the picture in. Underlined a few things, bolded a few things. Again, this is a sort of detail I can do with the article as long as the content is in the field and it just saves me time. So I think the last thing we have to do is the article here. And the one we have for that one, what we got left. 3 ways to leverage numbers. So I'm going to put this one here. This one. 3 ways to leverage numbers and pricing. I'm going to copy the headline and paste that straight in there, and it more or less fits in. Again, I like to have the first letter uppercase. 3 ways to leverage numbers and pricing. And I think if we just made that any bigger, it's probably, oh yeah, it fits. We've gone up to 28. Bigger the better we can get it. We don't want to make it, you see we're losing the G. I've just moved that up slightly because we're losing the G. This is just attention to detail. We could move all this up a little. We're going to put some graphics in there, and here's the, just going to get rid of that URL. Here's the box, text box that we can move around that we've to work on and put the content in. So I'm just going to copy the content from my text pad and drop it in here and paste over that. Usual autoflow, no. And this has gone in at 9.8 as normal. I will just pull this text box down and keep pulling it down to see how much text I've actually got to put in, which is quite a fair bit. So I'm just going to, you see, but by the time I've pushed it all up onto the right lines, it'll go across here and it'll fill out somewhat. So let me just go ahead and do that. Alright, I finished messing around with this article. I've got everything in. I've bolded the headlines, I've bolded the numbers, messed around with a few bits I want to highlight. Again, you don't have to do all this. I just want to make sure that you've got the copy in here. Then I can make these small edits. And I use the same blue bold for this URL and actually up this to 12 point. The rest of the article stayed at 9.8, which was fine. So I think now, other than some graphical elements that I would put in, plus changing the pictures and changing the colorways, and the fact that this is National Time Management Month, I want to put some clocks in and things like that, but I'll do that creative bit for now. I just want to save the time of all this other detail being put in. I can put in what's inside the killer issue and what I want to go in this star. So you just concentrate on putting the content and editing the content so it fits in all the areas correctly. So page 1's done, page 2, page 3 is done, page 4, this is all new content, 4 and 5, 6 and 7 is done, and the back page. So basically, I think other than that's how I would then save that and send it back to me once you're happy with all the spacing and you've gone through this multiple times, reread, make sure things have been dropped onto the second line, there's no missed words, look at things how I want it. You can bold certain things that you might think I would have bolded, put the headlines in. I will then put the graphics in. Here I will change the colors of these boxes, add the pictures, change the colors, add the content under the pictures. I'll make those adjustments. That video has taken about an hour, and I've actually been teaching as I've been going along. So I would expect you to take no more than really an hour to do this, to take the content and put it in, should be no more than an hour or two, and then send it back to me for this 8-page, and you get faster at putting the content in. So that ends video 2, and hopefully that helps you with understanding how I think and how I expect things to be done. But the whole point is, we've not changed a dramatic amount. The majority of the template has remained the same. Yes, I've stretched things out or reduced things. I've used, say, the same headlines. I've just taken the articles that I had in the text file, this text file, and fit them where I think I can fit them. And that's where the bit of magic is. But I'll give you articles that I know can fit in those places, you see. So the back page should just nicely fit on the back page, etc. Which will then make your life easier actually creating the newsletter component. All right, thank you.